Yo, today I would like to tell you about my first exposure to rainfall. No, I'm kidding. I don't remember that. Must have been so young. However, I do remember something. I have lessons about the rain. Currently, when you look at the news, everywhere it's raining. I have a friend in the Philippines who was telling me about their family which is struggling because of the rain that comes with heavy downpours. Every place gets filled up and people lose their property and everything. It so happens that everywhere people have gotten to know rain as a bad thing. Somehow, you know what I'm saying? Now, I personally changed my perspective of view when it comes to rain. Why? Because it taught me that having something new or changing your life, getting into a new step in life, most especially the good one, takes pain. It comes with pain. Your heart somewhere, just like giving birth. There's what we call labor pains. You don't tell me giving birth is bad or it's not something you wouldn't encourage for a couple, let's say, but it's painful. It's painful if you happen to talk to people who have given birth. I'm talking about ladies, and even those who are just expecting. It's just the process that hurts even more. That's what they say. I have one son, so I talk to my wife. I happen to understand that even when it comes to changes in life that we pray for, when you say, God, I want this, I want that, I want to improve, I want to see myself grow at the job I'm doing, I want to see myself grow with my family, I want to see my relationships work out, I want to see everything prosper. It comes with pain, a little bit of pain, but what changes everything is where you base to fight the pain. Your basis is what I'm talking about. Where you get your strength. Now, as I was reading this, as I was getting to know more about this, as I was trying to understand what the Bible means when it talks about rainfall and eroding a house and all that story that you know in Matthew chapter 7. I actually wrote it somewhere because I knew I needed reference to read to you guys. Now, if you can, just read Matthew chapter 7, 24 and 25. Let me read 24 for you. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Now, if I'm to be precise and accurate to this point, the only rock I know that will not disappoint you, actually the only rock, not the rock I know, the only rock that exists and will not disappoint you when you build your house upon there is one, God. His word is very simple. He says, therefore everyone who hears my word and puts them into practice is like a man who built his house on the rock. Why? Simply because not everybody believes what they heard God said. Do you understand? When you try to explain to someone about God and they say, really? Oh, he said that, he does that as well? Really? Oh, he sent his son to die for us. Why would he? Like, not everybody believes, and people want tangible proof to believe God. They forget that he's not a son of a man to lie. That's one thing. And his tangible proof is every day, the fact that you live. But people go ahead and doubt everything, and doubt his power, his omnipotence, and his strength, and still want extra proof to believe what he says, to believe the word. For those of you who read the Bible, I will not say I'm the best at it, but at least I try. You really understand that God makes reference on his words. The four prophets, the Isaiahs, Moses, and everybody you mean, Nehemiah, Ezekiel, they all prophesied. And these references can be found even in the New Testament. You understand what I'm trying to say? Simply because he knew his word was the only word that people would take in, and if digested well, they would understand what he meant. And it's easy to say that, it's me who did this. So humanly, like when you're trying to make a reference, I would take an example of politicians who come and say words and then refer to those words when their tenure is ending and they still want another term, and then they're like, you remember, it's me who said this, now I'm saying this, so believe me. This happens when what they said came true. This only happens when what they promised was visibly seen by people. For God, it's a little bit different. He says something that even happens on a daily. People prefer to see miracles on a daily, but these big miracles, that people would love to see God, Jesus coming down and changing water into wine again. I think they would love to see God making. That's why actually they would love to see Jesus walking on water. That's why actually I've seen some magicians, for people to believe them, they've even taken a step of walking on water using technology and everything. But that aside, God refers to his word because he wants us to believe him through his word, and that's the Bible. How often do you read the Bible? How often do you take note of what God says in whichever way? Now that we even have technology, you can access information from everywhere. So how often do you go on that internet to look for godly content? Do you hear what I'm saying? I know you do. Now God in Matthew chapter 7 verse 25, he goes further and says, for those who will build their houses on the rock, when the rain comes, now this is where the rain comes in. When the rain comes, their houses will not be eroded away, will not be washed away, because they are built on the rock. But there's the other hand of the story. Some people will build their houses on the sand, and when the rain comes, it's washed away. What's the sand in this case? This is just plain, okay, when people like to see visible stuff, people want to see things that work out immediately, and the devil is able to do that. So when, besides God, there's only devil, and when you choose not to be on God's side, you've chosen the devil. I'm sorry to say, it sounds scary, but I'm saying it to myself as well, not to you only. If you choose the other side and your house is eroded away, even hurts more. It's a process that it's even difficult to get yourself out of. It's a situation that gets difficult for you to pull out yourself out of. But if in the first place you set your house, now when I talk about the house, for me, how I understand it is you. Where are you standing at? Your house is what comprises of you, your soul, your spirit. What does your body fall into? What do you use your body for? Is it godly? These questions I'm not asking to you only, my brother, my sister, to me as well. I'm not perfect. I just allow God to use me. You could also do the same in a different way. You get what I'm saying? But people choose differently. I don't believe you're the kind of person who will choose differently. You build your house on the rock, and when the rain comes, it will not be eroded away. Believe me, besides the rainfall that we see from up above, these kinds of different rains, let me say, the inconsistencies, the challenges, the problems we face, the uncertainties, everything combined together, I call it rain. If this kind of rain comes and hits you, if it finds your house built on the rock, you will not be eroded away. You will not feel the pain as the same you would if you were not built on the rock. Because the rock gives you confidence to fight. The rock gives you enough standing point for you to fight back. Believe me, for those of you who know sports, if you're not firm enough physically, you can't fight back. You can't fight back. You can't retaliate. You cannot. So you need somewhere to stand. Your soul, your spirit needs somewhere to stand. And then you see yourself winning. I urge you to stand on God's side. And that's the rock. Don't stand at the devil's side, because that's the sand. When your house is eroded away by the rain, you'll have nobody to blame. And if it's God's side you're standing on, I promise, the process won't hurt. And if it hurts, it won't last. I really love you so much. If you've not subscribed or followed this channel, please feel comfortable to do so. The page is Mighty Counsel. Share the love. Let the people know the beauty about God. I love you so much. Peace and one love.